KT McFarland back with us here in New York City. In what way did the bridge taking out and the long-distance drone attack, in what way did that change the nature of war?
What it's showing is that Ukraine isn't going to get any more territory. But what they can do is they can go deep into Russia, so they can bring the fight to the homeland. What this means is you take a step back. This war is not ending anytime soon. There's the prospect for any kind of peace negotiations. I think it's very grim, at least through the summer.
Does it change Putin's calculations?
Yeah, absolutely changes Putin's calculation. So Putin's plan was that the reason he's been doing all the bombing in Kyiv and in Ukraine for the last couple of weeks is it's preparing him for a summer offensive. You know, they don't fight in the winter because it's snow, it's mud, it's ice, so they do all the fighting in the spring and in the summer. So they were planning, I mean, Putin thinks, well, he's going to make great advances. He's going to, change the calculation. He's going to be in a much better position for negotiations, or maybe he goes for the whole thing if he has a good summer. He's now rethinking that because he has been utterly humiliated. Because
that was a
utter humiliation.
Drone attacks in Siberia and all over.
It looks like they're an incompetent military. What's Putin doing? And he's got to remember in his head, 25 years ago, the reason Putin came to power was because Boris Yeltsin, the previous head of Russia, he failed to get the Chechen insurgency under control. So Putin comes in, he massacres everybody there, destroys the capital city of Chechnya. He's the strong man that Russia wants, and he's been riding that wave for 25 years. So he's got to be thinking, whoa, if I'm looking like the guy who's not strong, if I'm looking like the guy who can't win in Ukraine, I might be in trouble. So I think that Putin is now in a position where he can make no concessions, not because of the war, but because of his domestic situation.
So now what from Trump?
The big question is
Zelensky.
Trump.
I mean, is Zelensky going to pull more of these stunts?
Yep. So this is the question. What is Donald Trump going to do? He's got a couple of choices here. One, he could double down and say, I'm going to help you, Ukraine, now that you're going to go for broke. I can put massive secondary sanctions on Russia like Congress wants me to do. Or he could say, I'm out of here. Neither of you really want peace. Call me when you're ready to talk.
Whoa. One more for you, and I think this is an important story. 2 Chinese nationals were charged with smuggling a dangerous biological pathogen into America. FBI Director Cash would tell, he's sounding the alarm. Here's what he says. The Chinese Communist Party continues to deploy operatives and researchers to infiltrate our institutions and target our food supply, an act that could cripple our economy and endanger American lives. Is this a brand new national security threat?
Yeah, in the past, what they've done is they've just stolen our stuff, right? They've stolen our technology. They put their scientists or their students in American academic institutions or in businesses and taken home the goods. Now what they're doing is potentially seeding for some kind of problem with the American economy, or they're going to attack us from within. That's what the fentanyl thing is all about, right? They're destroying our society from within, and that's what this potentially is.
We need to know more about this.
We sure do.
It's considered possible an agricultural terror weapon.
Yes, exactly.
It attacks the food supply.
Yeah, in other words, if they would do something, let a pathogen loose, and all the American food supply, which we're really good at, would somehow be destroyed. Look, China's all over. They have infiltrated and penetrated all aspects of our economy and society, and we need to find out.
But the terrible thing about this is it isolates patriotic Chinese Americans. They're getting part of the blame as well, and that's outrageous.
Yeah. And that's why I think it's so important that we talk about the Chinese Communist Party in China, and it's not Chinese.
Got it. KT, always a pleasure.
Thank you.
Come back soon.